Yeah, I've been watching these old movies, for, entertainment, distraction. Not distraction because I'm always paying attention the best I can as to what's going on. I more like watch the headlines. I'm gonna go in and listen to the spin on the story. But, I can't even stand to go in right now and, all the red pill people, the patriots or whatever, who are talking about all this stuff going on. I know a lot of stuff's going on, and I knew stuff was always going to go on. I knew it was always going to go in that direction because I understand like the overall cycle that we're in. So, I know it's going that way, but oh my gosh, it's just kind of annoying or something, to even go in and listen, because the people who are talking about it really think like there's a chance it could go the other way. Like it's desperate times or something. And I just don't see it that way. I see everything is about the awakening. I see everything about the soul journey and about wrapping up cycles. I see the changing of ages. And one thing is like some of this stuff isn't just like stuff I went and read about or something, or I heard someone talk about one time. It is like it is imprinted into who I am. It's like a part of my imprint or something. I was telling my friend today, I said, I feel kind of like I'm just as an energy, like a book of knowledge that was sent forth in this body to illuminate people during this time. Because the stuff I talk about, it's like I know it. It is, I just know. And, who knows? Maybe I'm just going to end up being in a loony bin somewhere. Like I've said from the beginning, it's all in the receiver. You can have all the knowledge in the world. Like the witches had knowledge and they got burned at the stake. Jesus had knowledge and he got crucified. It all depends, You bring forth knowledge, and if the people aren't ready for it, the only thing is at this time, I feel like there's a whole bunch of us. like there's a flood of people who came in with information to illuminate the collective as it moves into a new age. And like I said, not everybody's going. I mean, if you are just stuck in dirty, rotten deeds, and you're not moving out of that 3D matrix kind of reality, and you're not working on yourself and stuff, then you're going to stay in those kinds of realities for a while. And there's still, the talk of the ships coming and taking people, and they'll take them to another reality that could seem like, they may go through 20 lifetimes or something. I don't know, in a split second, because time is completely different. We're leaving that concept as well because it was created to enslave us. So that is part of the release of the system, is everything about our education, our time, our money, our livelihood, how they were able to say, hey, we own the earth and we're going to sell it to you. We're going to sell it to you at a, it's like a shark, whatever those things are called, the loan shark people. That's what the government has been to us. And they've done it in all of these little things. Like I'm still dealing with this one with the bank. And every month, the same shit for like the 3 months. And then, so the bank is trying to blame it on me. And, it's Amazon and the banking, it's the financial systems. It's the way, they have our account information and all of this stuff in their ways that is accessible, because they are also the bad guys. You got to remember, they aren't just the ones selling the drugs in the pharmacy. They're also selling the drugs on the street, whether it's that actual person or they work for them. But up at the pyramid of all things, it's the same damn people. So, they're financing always both sides. They're always paying both sides of the war or whatever. The system is just to drain us. It's just to keep us as little and small as possible. So anyways, all of this stuff, you know, if the people are just really stuck in those kinds of, you know, just screwing people over and not working on themselves and just being drunk all the time and taking their anger out on other people and stealing and all of that kind of stuff. That's 3D kind of like I'm a young soul who hasn't really had a lot of experience. So, you know, you'll stay in those kinds of lives for a while until you figure out like, oh, this sucks. I wonder, no wonder everybody is like, fuck this. Yeah, everybody, well, I think most people are ready to get out of this cycle. They're ready for something new and something more. And, you know, most people have the drive to figure themselves out and heal themselves, accept themselves, and all of that stuff. But when I've been watching these movies, it's just kind of funny, you know, because I was watching it just because I can't stand to watch some of the new movies. It's just like, it's so much sex and violence and the programming and indoctrination stuff, you know, the woke manipulation of our minds and the creation of division and deciding who has value and who doesn't have value, you know, their whole system. So, but watching the old movies, see, you start seeing like what they were doing then and then how it affected society and kind of where we are now. Because in this, in all these old movies, it's shocking. Like all of these young girls, they'll be like, I don't know, they're supposed to be in their early 20s. Who knows? They could be in their 40s. But they're supposed to be in their early 20s. And they're all madly in love with these homely old men. Like, what? All of them. Like, they all have some daddy complex or something. And they'll have, like, the mom talking to the beau, and talking to him like he's a kid. It's like, this is a freaking grown-ass man. What are you trying to trick us or something? Is this, like, it's weird. And then they have every freaking woman, they call it hysterical or hysteria. She's always, you know, in hysterics. Always, all the women, every little thing. Oh, dinner, I forgot to turn it off. Oh, God, it's the end of the world. And they're crying. They're running to their room, throwing themselves. It's just like the most traumatic, like, things with these women. And how the people talk about them, you know, oh, well, you know, it's a woman. What do you expect? They're hysterical. They don't have control of themselves, you know. They're always talking about that with women. And then look at how women started being treated like that. Like doctors, like if you tried to talk to them about something, oh, she's getting emotional. Just like when that cop came out here, you know, the one that got shot in the face. When he came out here and he acted like I was just hysterical. I was just, you know, a crazy woman, just coming up with crazy drama. I was like, dude, these freaking people out here are crazy nuts. I don't know what the hell you think, dude. But, yeah. So that became such a part of our culture. Just the disregard for women and their emotions, and always if a woman had any emotion, well, she's just hysterical. She's got hysteria. She has no control. She's probably on her period or something. You know what happens to those ladies when their lady time comes, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, because that became such a part of what women had to deal with for, I swear to God, I think it's only until recently where women have started saying, hey, no, I'm not going to be treated like I'm crazy. I am a valid person. But it was in the programming. You can go back and watch the movies. It's nuts. It's like every single one. And there's so much with murder. I want to post it in the thing, but I swear to God, there's a running theme of murder, and they're constantly talking about moral issues, and they're always praying. And there's just certain things when you go in and you watch, like what the culture was like then and then what it's like now. And I was even thinking, it's so funny because that one girl who, you know, had posted the people dancing in that one movie. It was just so cool. The way they're dressed, the music. Like right now, even in the movies, they use all these weird high-pitched frequencies. The music is so much better in the older movies. But so they're all dancing and stuff. And so I had posted that and I said, how can you not love these old movies? And the one, because of there's no diversity or something like that. And I was like, well, even if they put them in, they're going to put him in as like a butler or something. Like, okay, I mean, do you understand like what the culture was at the time? And, she's being all judgy of what it was like, whatever, 40 years ago. And what does she think the people 20 years from now are going to be looking back at what she found funny, what she thought was interesting, entertainment? I mean, the stuff that they're going to look back on and see like this woke movement of being like a droid for your government kind of, and the compliance and the manipulation is just off the fucking chain. When they've got commercials and it's mental. It's just they're nonstop have to try and, tell us how we need to behave. And one thing too, I found so interesting in these movies, like yesterday there was one, and this is a common theme, but this is just one little situation. And so this woman, she's in this coffee shop, she's reading these cards, and I guess she's just doing it around, to just strangers in the thing. And they don't know that she's just pulling cards on them. And some guy got some bad cards, so she wanted to run out and tell him, like, oh, you need to be careful. And so he became faint. So they just went and got in somebody's car and just were sitting in there just having a chat. And then in a while, the guy comes out whose car it is, and he's like, hey, what's the big idea? You're in my car. And then like, oh, well, he was just feeling sick, so we just needed to sit in here and rest. Oh, okay, that's no problem. That's how it is all the time. Like, everybody, if you pulled over on the side of the road, and I even remember this back from when I was a kid, if you ever needed help on the side of the road, it was always just a signal, pull over and lift your hood. And right away, the first car will pull over. Now it's not like that anymore. Now everybody's zipping, by and don't give a shit. I mean, you could have a 75-year-old woman standing on the side of the road with her hood up, and she's thinking, hey, isn't this what's supposed to happen? And she's like, oh, it's just because I'm old. Nobody cares about me. I'm just disposable at this point. Because so many people feel like that. They feel like that they have no value once that they have, aged out of the system. And they're just waiting to die because that's all the system cares about. They just want those slave years. So, but there was such a common theme of people being there for people. Just like I said before, like if somebody had $1, and this was even during the Depression and stuff, somebody had $1 and somebody came up and they didn't have anything, they'd split it with them. Nobody was ever like, oh, there's not enough. They were just like, hey, we'll share. We'll all get through this. Just this more unified kind of state of being, And, but they had an agenda they were pushing. They were constantly pushing an agenda. But somewhere along the line is when they started trying to just create division. Because people were a lot more unified, especially in times of trouble. And that's what we're going through right now. And that's why it's pulling so many people together. And that's why, Trudeau's got to freak out because of what's going on up there. Because people are pulling together. Because we are understanding. Once, it has always been, once you feel something, then you understand. It pulls you in to the situation. And that's why we have so many in mass standing up for the same thing, because they've all had something that has affected them, and everybody is sick and tired of it, and everybody's coming together. And that's why it's an energetic thing. It's a cosmic cycle. It has no place to go but to complete. So it's not going to stop in the middle and all of a sudden be like, oh, it's Armageddon now, we're all going to die, or suddenly, Jesus is coming, he's going to save us. We don't have to do a damn thing. Just say, Holy Savior, save me, and you're saved. No work to it. Well, okay, then you're just coming back to go and relive these cycles over and over, because there is a purpose to life. Life is about learning, and there is cycles, and your soul is here. Your cycle is being incarnated all the time. And incarnation is just, it is a progression, a projection of self into different realities. And people are just so mixed up on what realities are. It's just the same as like a dream. And this is just a giant dream we're in. And that is when you start realizing, like, somebody's got you trapped in a dream. Like, so many of those kind of evil, the one show, I haven't seen it anymore, I don't know if the next season came out or whatever, but it did a lot. And I know there's other shows that kind of show that middle reality where there is beings around us, and you kind of can go into that reality in a dream, and you can be a lot more affected in a dream, because everything is a dream. And in this reality, this one is, it is more there's more trapping you, but there's so much with our senses, and it feels like everything is real, but it is the same as just being in a dream. So once you start really understanding about that this reality is the dream, or it's an illusion, and that you have control as your consciousness, that is when you can start creating the life you want. And people are just like, think, oh, I'm just going to manifest $1 million or something. Like I've said before, that's not what you want to be doing. You want to get to like picturing like the kind of home you want, where you want to have your home, what kinds of things you want in your home. Start picturing, if you want a business, picture yourself in that business. Picture yourself, meeting clients and meeting different people, and all of the change that you're bringing to the world through your business and stuff. Go in and think about those kinds of things. It gives the direction to your to your energy. It gives the direction towards it, and as long as you don't feel good about yourself, you'll stay in those kinds of things to confirm those ideals to you, until you work it out, and then you see your value, and then you pull, and you start pulling that energy towards what you want, what your real desires are. And then that energy starts going that direction. But it will seem, it is like a dream, in the way like a lucid dreaming, where you have more control over things. And it's not like you can go, oh, I'm going to pick up this knife, but I want it to be a hammer. I mean, there's probably some people who are to that point, that have that much control. But for most of us, we aren't do that yet. I think it's kind of in the future. Like, I think that is the state of being for some consciousness that are more advanced than us. And to be advanced, you would be more spiritually open to yourself, because yourself is your consciousness, is your energy, and this is learning mastery over yourself. So in those kinds of it's like my brain feels sometimes like it's like melting away or something. It's like a lot of stuff, but I can't even explain all of, I can't explain everything in the way that I can see it. I can just kind of take like bits and kind of say it how I translate it. That's why I keep saying it's so important for you to get in contact with your own guides and stuff, because you'll see once you get in contact with your own guides and stuff, your guides, you up here looking down on you. So you are in control of you, but everything you're going through is destined and fated. Like, it's all going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. You don't have control over what's going to happen. It was always going to happen that way. You're always where you're supposed to be. Everything that you feel is your experience is all to teach you. It feels different than what it really is. It's part of the illusion. But when you go through this stuff, and oh, another thing too is I kept having these feelings about these certain past lives, and I was like, but I don't see them as clearly as some of the other ones. But I think the ones that you can see more clearly are the ones that you are kind of wrapping up, like the soul cycles you're wrapping up. Some of the other ones could have already been completed, but there's certain ones that are completing now because it's the end of that age, and it has to complete the whole cycle. So we're going to be starting new ones in the new age. It's going to be a lot different. I keep talking about that. It's going to be much different. The whole thing, the whole idea of you don't have to die until you want to. I mean, that seems so far-fetched to other people, but I mean, if a med bed can save you from every single thing and grow back parts and all of that, then, what would it be that would kill you? It would have to be you saying, okay, I don't want my parts. I don't want to be grown back. I don't want to be healed. I just want to leave and transition out of this reality and move because I'm ready to go do a different reality. Because, I don't know how long somebody would really want to be alive in one reality, but when we don't have time, it's not going to be measured like that. It's going to just be when you feel complete, when you feel like you've completed your journey. So unless I'm wrong about that, but I don't see, but that was always going to be a part, because that is a part of, aliens or whatever you want to call them, the more advanced beings. They don't have life cycles like we do. That's part of what these journeys have been about, to teach us. And you see, there's so much death happening right now, and there's so many lessons and so much people are learning all the time. There's just so much happening right now. But, I feel like things are picking up steam. Like, there's so much more on the news and stuff all the time. Like, they're definitely talking about these invasions and stuff are about to go down. And I know the whole thing is to get all the deep state to have to expose itself, and that's what's going to happen. What's he going to do if he doesn't have control of the services, because there's a commander-in-chief, and it's different. It's two different people. So anyways, there's going to be stuff that would be exposed. They can't stop it. They can drag their feet. Like, obviously, that's what they are really, really good at. Who would think we'd be February? Ooh, today's Valentine's Day too. So remember, to really do something for yourself. Don't wait around for somebody to come in and sweep you off your feet or love you so that you can love yourself. Love yourself today. Celebrate yourself. Don't get down or defeated if you're by yourself and feeling like nobody loves you. Love yourself. And, you will begin to pull people in that love you. It won't be like before when you didn't love yourself and you were just trying to learn about that, and you were pulling in people to teach you those lessons of the importance of loving yourself. When you start to love yourself, then you pull in the people who will also love you. So, as long as you're working on you and loving yourself and taking care of you, and, you hold your standards, don't just accept any old willy-nilly, coming in for whatever, to hold your standards, knowing that knowing what you want, knowing what is yours, and just that's what faith and hope is all about. So, but today is a day to celebrate yourself, and do something nice for yourself, whatever that is. If it's to take time for yourself and go walk in a park, or make yourself some special dinner that you always wanted and nobody ever made it for you. Buy yourself flowers, get yourself a nice piece of cheesecake or something. Do whatever it is that makes you feel special to you. Don't sit back and watch sad movies and eat ice cream and cry because nobody loves you. Because you don't want to be around people that love you in that state. You want to be around people who love you at your best. People are just so stuck and willing to accept their worst and think that's all they are. But really, there is a beautiful butterfly waiting inside of everybody, ready to come out. So, and it all starts with loving yourself. So spend a day loving you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.